Welcome to Cricbuzz Chatter, day one of the first test match between India and New Zealand in Kanpur, 258 for 4. India finished on day one, and Ajinkya Rahane won the toss, decided to bat first. No surprises there whatsoever. You bat first in Kanpur every day, all day. Shreyas 75 not out at the end of the day was very, very good. Shubman Gill with 52 and Ravi Jadeja 50 not out. That partnership at the end of the day really putting India in control. Carl Jamieson outstanding, Tim Southey good, and Will Somerville as well. Simon Doull with you, and Dinesh Karthik. We've had some internet worries today, DK, but I think we're all okay now. How are you, and what did you make of day number one?
Hello, Dooley. Good to see you. Is everything back there okay in Kanpur?
It's all right. Yeah, it's all right. Thank you. I finally got my internet sorted. I've been struggling for a day and a half. I spent 2 days in quarantine, but hey, we're out. We've had a day of test match cricket. I just love getting back into the whites, watching test match cricket, the ebbs and the flows, all of those things. What did you think sitting back and watching day one?
I was very excited, when I realized that India were batting first. I got even more excited because, you always want to watch India bat first and for some strange reason if you're an Indian fan. And it was just good to see them, win the toss, take the pretty straightforward decision, which is to bat first. And Shubman Gill, man, he was looking like $1,000,000, just had a lot of time when he played, always a great player of spin. But today, obviously, he had to play a slightly tricky spell at the start with Saudi and Jamieson doing well, but really good to see him, stamp his authority.
He's a player you know so well, and obviously you've seen come through from about 18, 19, 20 years old and progress to the side. Falling in a similar fashion, what does he need to do about just getting out in a very similar way? 6 times now in his test career, just that delivery that's nipping back in, LBW or bowled, just leaving that little gap. What does he have to do to just take that next step from those 50s, 60s to making hundreds?
So I don't think he has a problem. He knows how to get the big hundreds. For as an example, every time he's got 100 in first class cricket, he's made it a double 100 or a 250. Yeah. So he knows how to get the big runs. There's a technical issue here. He goes slightly across. When you go across towards the ball, then you tend to throw your hands at the ball. That creates a bad pad gap. Whereas if you stay slightly beside the ball, you allow the ball to come to you, and then you can play it beside the ball, which is the right way to do it. And, as I saw the dismissal, you could see that this is a technical thing that he just needs to work on. It has got nothing mental about it because he's somebody who knows how to get the big hundreds. This is a technical thing that he needs to work on so that he can be consistent in red ball cricket. And also this is going to help him play white ball cricket better as well.
Yeah, I talked about it in commentary too. I think it's great for him to probably now have Rahul Dravid sitting alongside him in the dressing room, who knows him so well from the NCA days, from the under-19 days as well. And when I thought he sort of burst onto the scene, he looked such a good player at that under-19 tournament down in New Zealand. And I'm sure having Rahul there, just those little technical things will help him iron those out as well. And there's no doubting the talent. It's just 1 or 2 little things along the way that he just needs to work on it. And we all do, I guess. The more we play, the more we learn, the more things we find we have to work on as well.
Absolutely. I think you're bang on there. Having Rahul Dravid will give him a lot of moral support, I feel, because, when he was, that upcoming youngster, that fantabulous young boy from under 19, it was Rahul Dravid that was the coach even there. And he had said at that time that this guy is a superstar. And today he is on the verge of becoming a brilliant superstar, if not already. And to have Rahul Dravid there as the coach, I think will give him a lot of confidence. Yes, this is a technical thing which Rahul Dravid and Vikram Ratho will definitely work on in the near future, because if he sorts this out, I think his ability to get big runs, even if he goes abroad, will enhance by a big way. And it will be really good to have somebody like Rahul Dravid, who has gotten out a few times with the ball that's come back in as well. So obviously he'll have the right things to say to a boy like Shubman Gill.
Any concerns with Cheteshwar Pujara, with Ajinkya Rahane? I mean, they both need a score. You don't lose class overnight. You can lose form, but you don't lose class overnight. Are there any concerns around the fact that they're just not quite converting those sort of middling scores into big scores at the moment?
I think they would be a little disappointed. There is no doubt. I think, obviously there has been this, so the word out that, they need to score hundreds, they need to get hundreds, because they haven't in some time. So with every match, that pressure seems to increase. Obviously, because test matches played sporadically, they're not under the spotlight as often as at least, in the recent past. There's been a lot more white ball cricket with the World Cup and the New Zealand series happening. So there's been a lot of white ball, so it's kind of gone under the radar. But once test cricket starts in full tilt again, I think every time they don't get runs, I think they come under the spotlight, so to say, in a negative way. And with every game, the voices from outside seem to get louder, and calling their names out, saying when is it going to happen? When are you going to bring the next guy? Now, obviously, Shreyas Iyer walks in at a number 5 and scores a 50, and obviously, if he goes on to make it 100 and does well the next game, so when they go to South Africa, what are they going to do? Are they going to hold on to Shreyas Iyer, or are they going to look at removing one of these two? These are the big questions that Rahul Dravid is going to answer. But having said that, it's interesting because Rahul Dravid knows the value of a Pujara and a Rahane, and I think somewhere the quality of Rahul Dravid will come out through these two batters, because very very similar methods and very similar styles of play. So maybe he feels that he can get the best out of them, and it'll be a sort of a second reliving for them as batters, and Rahul Dravid will be the catalyst to get their test career propelling forward.
All right, DK, now that you've mentioned Shreyas Iyer, it is time to put you on the hot spot.
Mm-hmm.
And the question comes basically off the back of your answer. Is Shreyas Iyer a long-term replacement then for Ajinkya Rahane at number 5, or would you look to maybe promote Ravi Jadeja up the order to accommodate Ashwin and Jadeja in the same team all the time?
I think that Shreyas Iyer is a long-term prospect at number 5. Definitely not Jadeja, because I feel Jadeja should bat at 6 and maybe 7, not above that, because obviously he's an all-rounder. He's going to bowl long spells. He's going to need the rest. It's asking a lot out of him to come and bat immediately at number 5. Very proficient against spin. He's somebody who's improved drastically over a period of time with playing medium pace as well. But still, I would keep Punt and him at 6 and 7 when they go abroad. I think they're very well suited there. They're doing well for India there. So it's good to watch them and good to see them play together. But Iyer, I think, is the next batsman behind line. And also one more name that we need to throw in here is Shubman Gill. When our KL Rahul and our Rohit Sharma comes in, he's going to miss out. So does he find a spot as a number 3? That's another interesting question that's going to happen. Whether Shubman Gill is the next number 3 and whether Shreyas Iyer is the next number 5. Time will tell, but definitely I would put my money on both of these players because they're very, very good players.
On debut, to walk out, to be assured of your role, to be assured of your position, to just play with confidence. Why and how does he get that? Is it purely down to how much and how good he's been at first-class level, plays spin very well?
Yes, I think your question is perfect, Dooley. I think it is phrased well. I think, yes, both the things. I think the fact that he's done well in domestic cricket will stand him in good stead, because if you see Kanpur, it's a low and slow wicket, and that's not his strength. He actually hails from Bombay, which has bounce, and we will be seeing the next game. It's a completely different pitch to what we played in Kanpur. It's got bounce early in the morning. There'll be some movement. So he's grown up there. So he'll be a good player of, obviously, the stand and deliver kind of shots. He'll play some great shots, a good wicket to bat on. But I think his biggest strength is his ability to play spin. He's somebody who has the ability to hit sixes from the crease. Anytime it's full, he just goes for it down the ground, and he's one of the better batsmen to be doing that consistently. That's one of the reasons why he's such a good white ball player as well, because he's very good off the front foot, and then there is one shot he plays beautifully. It's like how you cut melted butter, so to say. The cut shot, he plays it late and he plays it beautifully. And when somebody can play so well of the front foot and of the back foot, obviously the bowler doesn't have much so-called leeway to go wrong.
Yeah, when we look at, I guess, good performances on one side, we've got to look at some on the other as well. And New Zealand's point of view today, not an easy day for them, but Kyle Jamieson just continues to impress. Unbelievable now, 19 wickets against India in 3 test matches, another 3 today. He just, even in these conditions, I thought this would be the toughest test for Kyle Jamieson, but your impressions of him today, and particularly Tim Southee as well, who's sort of held this bowling attack together along with Trent Boult for the last few years.
I think, let's be honest, I think Kyle Jamieson was the best bowler on display today. His first spell, my God, was really good. He swung it more than Southee. You have to understand, Southee has a slightly wide arm release, so the ability to swing is a lot more. Whereas Jamieson is slightly more towards the ear, so he generally swings the ball less. But it was Jamieson who got this ball to swing a lot more today. If you saw how it is, that goes to show the ball is coming nicely out of his hands. He's feeling confident. And I like the fact that he stepped away from T20s and said, I want to focus on Test cricket. He knows he has to bowl long spells in Test cricket if he wants to survive. especially in India, it's going to be short bursts, but a lot of spells. He's done so well today. The first spell, a lot of openers he would have given trouble because he swung it both ways and made them play at some tough balls. It was really good to watch, and it was great to see him get the wicket of Mayank Agarwal, who's a good player in these conditions, but to get him out that way was good. And after that, consistently, every time he came back, he looked like getting a wicket, which is always a sign of a good bowler. If as a fast bowler, you can consistently produce wickets in any spell in India, you can definitely regard yourself as one of the world's best.
Why do you think he troubles India? I mean, why do you think he troubled them in New Zealand, again in England, and has troubled them to some extent today?
India, we got to understand India as a batting unit over a period of time have struggled against people who release from taller positions. Against tall bowlers, their record is very, very ordinary. Over a period of time, we are talking about the best of batters, the Pujaras, the Kohlis, all of them, the Rohit Sharmas, they've all found it hard to play taller bowlers. It's very, very interesting that India have, if you do take the if you do take the strike rates for tall bowlers, it's very, very high. It goes to show that India haven't done. And obviously, Kyle Jamieson being one of the tallest cricketers going around world cricket and his ability to swing both ways make it even more tougher to play him. I remember speaking to a few of the boys and they said he was the toughest bowler to play in the World Test Championship final as well. Goes to show that he's a class bowler.
Well, day one has ended 258 for 4. Time to look ahead to tomorrow for Fast Forward. But given how the last session has gone, DK, and India taking control, one would think, in that last session, New Zealand, what would they be happy with bowling India out for tomorrow? And vice versa, what are India looking to get to or past?
I think if New Zealand can get them under 320, it'll be a great effort, but it's very hard, I must admit. If they get them below 320, I think it's a very good effort by them, because then what that does mean is New Zealand, I mean, there's a good chance that obviously India wouldn't enforce the follow on because New Zealand will bat pretty well. But if they obviously get more than 400, then India is definitely completely in the driver's seat and they'll be looking to get New Zealand out as quickly as possible to put them in, or obviously, get them all out and then bat a little and again put the pressure on them, which will obviously give India the best chance of winning. But at this stage, I think New Zealand will be happy to restrict them to 320, and India, any score in excess of 375, they'd be very, very happy.
Yeah, well, the ball is starting to turn. That's one thing we have noticed. It hasn't turned quickly. It stayed low at times as well. Average first inning score in Kanpur is 398, and it slowly gets worse from there down to the third inning. So some tough work for New Zealand to do tomorrow. We look forward to that. DK, thanks so much for your time. It's India who probably sit just ahead, I think, at the end of day one of this first test match of 2. 258 for 4, Jadeja and Shreyas I will resume tomorrow. We look forward to your company tomorrow night, and we will be back with you. Stamp it in your diaries, put it in your phone, set your alarms, because we'll be back with you tomorrow night, right on 6 p.m. Dinesh Karthik and myself, internet sorted, Cricbuzz Chatter, all things good about this first test match. Day one, India just in front. Look forward to your company tomorrow. DK, thanks for your time, and see you tomorrow night, mate.
Thanks, Dooley. Missed you in the white ball series. Good to see you back with a big smile.
Love it, buddy. See you tomorrow.